Welcome to my channel. My name is Sophia O'Kane and today I will be showing you my prom dress. Now this is actually the first video I'm filming on my new camera, or at least my intro and outro. So that's pretty cool because now I don't have to film on my phone, so this will be cool to see how this video turns out compared to others. But you're not here to see me rant about my camera, so before I actually get into my video of the whole process of me making my prom dress and of course some clips of me wearing it, I wanted to talk to you just about my experience with prom being canceled. So I was actually really excited for prom ever since homecoming, because that was actually the first school dance that I had gone to this year. And I had made my dress for homecoming, and so I was really excited to make an even better dress for prom. But unfortunately I never actually made it to prom, but I still decided to go through with making the dress since I had already bought the fabric and planned out the design in my head before we were quarantined, so I decided might as well finish what I started. Now, a lot of my friends got to go to prom last year as juniors, and our school normally does just senior prom, but I did not go, so I was really excited for that. So I feel like I was one of the most excited out of all my friends, which is kind of funny since I normally don't have school spirit or involved in any usual school activities, but I was really excited for prom because it's really one of those like coming of age experiences that I feel like everyone always gets to experience. It's always glorified in all the movies, so I was really disappointed that I didn't get to experience that, and I never will. But I at least got to make my dress, and I still got to get dressed up and take pictures, so that was at least really nice. I will admit there were a couple times when I was making the dress that I was tearing up because I'd never get to wear this to a real dance ever. But I still kept going just because I really wanted to finish it. I also put off making my prom dress till the last minute, and it was actually a couple days before our prom would have happened is when I finished the dress, just because, I don't know, it was really sad to think about it, and just for a while I didn't want to make the dress because I knew I would probably never get to wear it. But in the end I decided that even if I don't ever get to wear it again, I'll at least have pictures and the memory of what prom could have been with me wearing that dress. Once I made the dress, I was actually really proud of how it came out, and even though the only people that will ever see it are the people that have seen my posts on Instagram, I was still really proud of how it came out, and it was probably one of the best sewing projects that I've done, and the vision of the dress that I had in my mind honestly came to life, so I'm really proud of that. And maybe in the future I'll find some event that will allow me to wear the dress, but for now it'll just be on display with some of my other sewing projects from the past, and it will live on in memory through my pictures. So I think that's enough depressing talk about prom, so now we'll go right into the tutorial of how I made my prom dress. Okay, so I decided to use a pattern because my mom didn't want me to mess up and then have to go buy a prom dress. And so this is actually my first project I'm finishing using a pattern, so that's kind of cool. But all you want to do is just cut out all the pattern pieces that you'll need, and here I'm folding them over because for some reason I decided I didn't want to cut them out all the way just in case I wanted to reuse these patterns for larger sizes. So you just want to cut out all your pieces and then fold them to the right size. Now you'll want to lay all your pattern pieces onto your fabric, and this will usually be found in the instructions in your pattern, but if you're not using a pattern, then lay them out however you want to. You'll want to make sure that the pattern pieces line up with the grain line of the fabric. There's usually like a little line on the actual pattern piece. That way you can make sure you're not putting it on crooked, because that can mess up your piece later on. This is kind of what it looks like when I pinned mine down. Then you want to go ahead and cut out all your pieces. Make sure you cut slowly, and also don't forget to cut the little notches. This will help you later on when you have to line up different pieces. You may need to cut out a second piece for some of the pattern pieces, so I'm doing it in the same way, pinning them down, and making sure that they're lined correctly on the fabric. Then go ahead and cut these pieces out just like you did for the first couple ones. Now do the same thing for the skirt pieces, lining them up correctly on the fabric, and also make sure to place any lines that say to place on the fold on the actual fold. That way you don't cut out wrong pieces. Then go ahead and cut out your skirt pieces. Now I'm cutting out on the same fabric 2 extra pieces of the cups just because I didn't buy any liner fabric, which you can do the same or you can buy liner fabric. It's really up to you. Now you want to make darts out of each of the 4 cup pieces. You can use the pattern for reference, but you want to fold each piece in half, pin them, and draw a line from the edge to a corner, making a triangle shape. This is what they should look like when you're done. When you sew your dart, you want to stop at the top with a back stitch and then go all the way down, and as you get to the tip of the triangle, you want to kind of curve off your sewing line, and then instead of back stitching, we're going to tie it off. That way we don't create any puckers at the tip. Now you want to place the cups right sides together, making sure you're putting the left with the left and the right with the right. Pin along the tops 2 sides of the triangle and then sew, leaving the bottom side open. Then you want to place your cup inside, which is optional, you don't have to, but it makes things easier later on. Now for the waist part, I'm going to be adding interfacing to some of the pieces just to make the fabric a little stiffer. If you're going to add interfacing, follow the instructions that are on the package, because this is the first time I used interfacing, which is kind of cool. You'll want to pin your 2 short pieces to the long piece right sides together for both of the interfacing and non-interfacing bands. That way you create 2 very long bands. Once you've sewn down the 2 sides, you'll want to add the cut pieces right sides together. Be sure to pin these carefully on, that way there's not any crookedness, and then you just want to go and sew along this edge. Now you'll want to place your other band on top of that and pin along this edge and sew all the way across. This way you'll flip it out and all the raw edges will be hidden. Now you'll want to add darts to your skirt pieces the same way we did for the others. You should have 2 darts on your front piece and 1 dart on each of the back pieces. Once you have sewn all 4 darts, go ahead and place the 2 back pieces onto the front piece right sides together, pin along the sides, and sew. Now we need to attach the top piece to the skirt. Place them right sides together and pin along the side. You should end up sewing through, I think, 3 layers of fabric. Once you've done that, you can go ahead and attach a zipper. It's basically placing the zipper and the fabric right sides together and sewing along each side. If anyone wants a more detailed tutorial, let me know. Then you'll have to close the rest of the skirt. Go ahead and pin the fabric to wherever it lines up with the zipper. Start from the top and then sew down to a little bit past where the zipper ends. Remember to cut off any excess fabric because this gives it a more finished look. I'm using some pinking shears, which are really helpful to prevent fraying. Now we'll create a hem for this skirt. Do that by folding the fabric up once and then folding it up again and pinning. You also may need to iron this before you sew. Moving on to the second part of my prom look, I wanted a more sheer, long skirt to go with the dress, so I'm cutting out 2 layers of fabric that are about 1.5 times my waist size. putting them right sides together, I'm kind of creating like a tube by sewing down with a zigzag stitch on both of the sides just to kind of catch those raw edges. Then I sewed a straight stitch with no back stitching along the top of the fabrics, and then I started pulling, that way the fabrics would be all gathered. Then I cut about a 7-inch wide band from some of my extra fabric for the rest of the skirt. Fold the edges in and then fold the band in half to look like this. Then you want to place the skirt fabric inside, kind of sandwiched together. Then sew along through all the layers of fabric. To hem this skirt, I am folding the fabric up once and then using a zigzag stitch to make sure everything is secure. Now to make straps for the top, I'm cutting 2 bands that are equal width, equal length, and then I'll be folding them in half and then pinning along the entire thing and then sewing along the pins. After sewing, you'll want to go ahead and cut off the extra fabric, that way it'll be easier to turn this right side out. To do this, I basically just use a safety pin to help push the fabric inside itself, and then I would kind of scrunch it up and then pull the fabric, and I just kept doing this the entire time. I actually just got a loop turner, so I'm kind of sad I didn't have it in time to do this, but this worked out okay. It just took a little bit of time. Once the straps are right side out, go ahead and iron them flat. Then you want to stitch them onto the top. I kind of did like a triangle pattern just so that they would be super secure. It will kind of look something like this when you're done. You can stitch the other sides of the strap to the back of the dress or tie them the way I did, but once you're done with that, your dress will be complete. Thank you so much for watching my video. Hopefully you enjoyed watching me make it, going through that whole process, or maybe you enjoyed me modeling it in some little dirt field. I thought that was honestly kind of fun, especially because it was around sunset, so to me it was really pretty even though it was just a dirt field. If you want to go see more pictures, be sure to check out my fashion Instagram at FiaGraceFashion, or on TikTok, same at. Or you can check out my website at fiagracefashion.com. I'll be posting an article on my dress very soon in the next couple of days, hopefully. Also, if you feel bad for me for not being able to go to prom, please share and like my video. That way I can reach as many people as possible. And also don't forget to subscribe to see more fashion videos and probably some photography videos, since I did mention I got a new camera. So I'm really excited to start trying out different stuff with that. Thanks again for watching my video, and I'll see you next time. Bye!